What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Geek Cast. My name is Bobby Pauls. This is episode 100.
What accent?
That's right, isn't it?
Yeah, no, that's not right. You want to see how it's done?
Yeah, show me how it's done, Bobby. Come on.
What is up, everybody, and welcome to episode 100 of the Geek Cast. I am Bobby, the Nintendo Guru, joined by my best friend in all the land, Toby. What is up, Toby?
What is up, Bobby?
How are you doing today, sir?
I am very hot today.
Are you?
I am sweating.
Oh, good lord! Are you excited that it's episode 100?
Eh.
Oh, good God! And for this episode, we had to bring back Allan Paxton. What is up, Allan?
I'm good. I didn't think you people would make it this far.
I didn't think so either, man. It's crazy.
No,
right?
I mean, I thought you would have flown over here and killed Toby by now.
It's crossed my mind more than one time. Trust me.
There's a lot of disappointed people that you haven't come along and.
Listen, I think.
Love you, Toby.
I think if you were still, like a regular, like here every single week, I probably would have came over to kill you first, though.
Oh yeah,
because you just like to twist the knife every chance you get and get me all fired up. Let's kick this episode off like we do each and every episode with our Geek Outs. Allan, what are you geeking out about?
Not a lot of things. There's a few things, so I had to narrow it down to one thing.
Okay.
And that would be that Nintendo have announced the pricing for the all singing, all dancing online service that's now delayed till 2018.
Well, it's not really. They haven't really discussed exactly what it is. Like, they've kind of unveiled it. I think it's like a soft launch, I guess is the best way to say it. Because they haven't really given the details of what this...
I would disagree, Bobby. I would call it a fumbled launch. Because it's not even a launch. It's, here's some details. It's not coming for a while. Here, everyone's confused about it.
I don't think it was ever coming for a while. I think the problem was because of the voice chat thing. They needed to get out and change the narrative as quickly as possible. Because I don't think they were ever going to announce the way they did. There was no way possible that was the way they wanted to announce it. But because with Hori putting out that voice chat thing, which we're going to get into that in a minute, I think they just tried to jump ahead of it, ultimately.
Yeah,
but I think
you're probably right.
But I think this is because they're saying that it's free for the rest of the year, which was always the way it was going to be. They had said, like, we're going to announce it whenever we announce it, and it'll be free for everybody for the year. What I mean by soft launches is they kind of gave some details, which again, what I feel the reason why they did that was, and then, but they haven't really said like when the virtual console side of it comes in. And I did see yesterday that they even said that they might not even do virtual console. This new system thing that they're going to do is going to be probably it, because they also stated that it changed from the original plan. The original plan was to put like 1 or 2 games out a month with online activity, and then they scrapped that because now they're going with this new system. And I think that's the reason for the delay. I think that they need to. I think they're definitely modeling after the Microsoft thing. What is it?
The games for the Game Pass.
Yeah,
thing.
Game Pass thing. I think it's going to be more modeled that way, and
the official name,
which is kind of like a Netflix style thing. I was just listening to a podcast Unlocked last night with Phil Spencer on from a while ago, actually when GDC happened, and it was enlightening as hell, man. I'll be honest with you. Like, you listen to that episode, and you get a lot of details about this whole Game Pass thing and where it came from and how long it took to put it together. Like, that's crazy. It took Microsoft two years to put it together. He's been with the company for 3. He said it was one of the first plans that he came out with when he started there, and it took 2 years to get it up and running. So it's a little detail behind the scenes that shows you, like, this isn't just a boom go. You know what I mean? Like, it takes a little time to do.
But good that they're giving you the games permanently and not this kind of silly, kind of sort of semi-rental system. Because I was thinking about
it.
Silly idea.
I was thinking about it before we went on the air, because it is something like I was thinking about topics for if we ran Nintendo and stuff, and then obviously this dawns on you, you know what I mean? Like, what exactly are you getting and all this? And I thought about this system, and I'm like, this is kind of smart. If they don't give you a virtual console where you can buy the games, right? But they give you full access to the library, but you just got to pay this $20 a year, they win. Because everybody will pay for it.
I don't think we're going to see, like, we're going to get GameCube and all that. That's not going to be included in that. There's no way they're going to do it for £20 a year.
You might start seeing it to rise a little bit. You might start to see the price go up, you know? If they went...
I still think they're going to do a separate virtual console where you can buy games.
I don't know, because their latest report was they haven't decided what they're doing with the virtual... They legitimately came out and said, we haven't decided what we're going to do.
It's so confused. Nobody knows. There's little tidbits of information, and people are like, oh, is it this? Is it that? And then they put out another statement, and we still don't fully know. So I just think they shouldn't have said anything yet.
Again, I think they were put in a situation where they had to change the narrative. Going into E3, you don't want people pissed off at you. They were going into E3 top dog. They were going into E3 with, like, their E3 to lose, ultimately. You know, and that's the way I felt, anyway. Like, nobody's really talking about Sony. Xbox they are talking about because of Scorpio. But Nintendo, people, it's the first year when you read blogs, you look at everything, everything's focused on Nintendo because how bad last year was, how bad the year before was, everybody's hyped up because they're like, a new console, we're going to hear all these new games, everybody's excited. So I think they had to change the narrative quickly, man, because it was, dude, they were getting crushed before this. I mean, it was bad. Like, that whole day, I was just like, oh my god, dude, this is out of control. People are freaking out, man. They're losing their minds on it. So, I don't know. What you said you were geeking out about a couple things, Alan. What? Okay, before we go on, price wise, did you guys expect this to be $20 a year?
No, I thought it was going to be more because everything about the Switch has been kind of like a premium price, like everything. The dock's £90, and I kind of expected that they would kind of go in at the same level. What is it, $40 a year for PSN and Xbox Live? I thought there'd be
in the United States we pay $60. In the United States we pay $60.
Yeah, and
I think Xbox is 60 or 70. I don't know exactly what that is, but yeah.
No, so it's good to see that they're coming in at a more, what I'd say, because everyone's bitching about the price, but I'd say what you're paying for what you get, £20 a year is a drop in the ocean.
No, that's nothing, man. We waste $20 on stupid games on the eShop. You know what I mean? Like, everybody is, like, if you can't come up with $20 for the year, there's a problem. You know what I mean? Like, that's with all the games you buy, and there's a lot of bad games. Thing, though, you know what I mean? Like, that's
that online service is linked to your account, not to your system. So I'm wondering if me and Karina want to play Mario Kart online together, will she have to own her own online pass to be able to do multiplayer online? So that suddenly turns from £20 to £40 a year.
Yeah. And listen, that's because you would have to pay it. Me, I would tell Tony. Saying, like, I would just tell Tony, you want to play, you pay it yourself. Sorry, I'm not paying for you. No, I would pay it.
Yeah, that's how that conversation would go down. Listen, just imagining you being smacked around by your wife.
I'll record that conversation. We can see what happens. This will getting bludgeoned to death by her Switch. She's beating me over the head. I don't know. I think that if I'm not, because they haven't really given the details, $20 does sound cheap. But I think I think $20 is probably going to be like, okay, $20 and you get all the NES games. And then they might go, okay, now we're going to give you all the Super Nintendo, and here's 30, and then 40, and like, as they start adding different stuff to it. But we'll see. Yeah,
different tiers.
But we'll see how that works. Is there anything else you were geeking out about, Alan, before we move on?
Yeah, and this one's going to, can you strap yourself down?
Wonder Woman?
Mentally prepared.
Wonder Woman?
Yeah.
Ah!
Did
you see it
the
yet?
First No, it's okay. I've got studying to do, so it's like 2 hours out of my day to do that is a bit much. So I might go and see it once I've started the course I'm on my way to do. But the first DC Universe movie that isn't apparently a pile of steaming trash, which is great.
That's messed up. That's so messed up of you to say.
It's so true.
You really think that with the Nolan stuff?
I said DC Expanded Universe.
Okay,
Nolan doesn't actually exist within that universe.
All right.
Score! But, yeah. It's already better than Batman v Superman because it's not Batman v Superman.
Well, I think that I'm excited to see it. I'm going to go today at some point because I actually have to record tomorrow on the Secret Friends Unite. They're doing a Wonder Woman spoiler cast, and they asked me to come on. Like Todd asked me like a couple months ago, and he's like, "I need someone that loves DC to be on there because these guys are going to kill it." And I'm like, "Okay, I'll be there." You know, I think I was having this conversation with somebody at work the other day, and I really believe this is the truth with this. So I feel like with Batman and Superman, the problem with the movies is that the expectations are so high, and people already have in their minds what those movies should be and how those characters should act and all that stuff because they're popular characters. Mm-hmm. But and Marvel has been super successful because of the fact that for the most part their characters were relatively unknown. Like, people knew who Iron Man was. They knew who Captain America was. But they weren't the top sellers for Marvel. The Incredible Hulk is. Spider-Man is. The X-Men is. All the franchises that Marvel didn't own. And those are the franchises that get crushed as bad as DC movies do. You know, where people just, like, they did good with the first two Tobey Maguire movies, and then Sony couldn't do anything right with those movies after that. And then the Hulk can't find its bearing. Can't find its bearings for a standalone movie. X-Men's hit or miss. You know, some movies are great, some movies are bad. But because I feel like there's so much, like, people love Guardians of the Galaxy. But let's be honest, how many people even knew who Guardians of the Galaxy was before that movie even came out?
I'll agree that I think there is an aspect of that, but I'll also say that the Marvel movies are, while a little bit cookie cutter in terms of their progression and such, they are fundamentally solid films. When Batman v Superman's not, I mean, we've had this discussion before, and I don't want to get you riled up.
We don't have to go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah. But I'm really looking forward to it. I think I'm hoping this is the beginning of the uptick, and everything that the folk they're trying to court for the other movies excites me. The idea like a Robert Zemeckis or Matthew Vaughn Flash movie tickles me in my special place. So hopefully it's all going. It's
a shame that Zack Snyder left on the reasons he left. That's very sad. Seriously, that is his daughter committed suicide, and my thoughts go out to him and his family. But the person they replaced him with, seriously, you couldn't have asked for a better person at all. And I feel like what he was doing with the Avengers was where it needed to be, and he walked away from that whole thing because he was getting frustrated with Marvel touching everything and not letting him do his own thing. And I think DC is in a place where they can't afford to be touching stuff anymore, because you see what happens when the studio gets involved with their movies and stuff. They're bad. They screw it up. Like, they shouldn't have cut things that they cut, and they shouldn't do stay out of it. Let the people that write the comic books handle it, and you stay away. I mean, that's why Marvel's working, because the people
don't rush them.
Yes, the people that write the comic books, the people that write the comic books at Marvel are now running the studio, Marvel Studios. That's the way it should be, And with moving Jeff Johns over there, with doing DC films now, I think you're going to start seeing some changes in the right direction. I think it should be good. Toby, since you're bored out of your mind now, I'm curious. Are you geeking out about the same thing I'm geeking out about, or?
No.
Okay, so I'll let you go then first.
I'm geeking out about E3 because it's just a week away.
Yes.
And I am so excited. It's my favourite time of year. I love the theatrics of it all. I love the game announcements. I love it all. So
Question for you. Are you working on the Nintendo?
I am. I'm gonna try and shift things around a bit so I can take an hour or so off when the.
Because I was
Nintendo
gonna say
stream.
to you, like, I actually am going into work late that day. I didn't know if you wanted to watch it live together.
Yeah, we could do that probably.
Reaction thing, and then you go to work and I'll go to work, and then I'll edit it when I get home and slap it all together and stuff. Because Sean can't get off work because he took a month off because his baby was born and stuff. So,
cute little baby.
I can't wait for E3. I am so hyped. I'm really looking forward to the Xbox conference.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to all of them. Yeah, apart from PC.
Oh
gaming.
Yeah. PlayStation. I'm kind of
the
curious.
Monster Race.
I'm kind of curious to see what PlayStation does, because I feel like I said, going into this, I don't think the hype levels are that high for PlayStation at the moment. I think the focus is on Xbox and Nintendo at the moment.
The thing is, they could still do a really good job. Like, there's a lot of studios that we don't really know what they're working on. Like, what if Rocksteady came out and showed off a new Batman game at PlayStation? Yeah. Like, that would be incredible.
That would be cool.
Silver Age. Because that's been the rumor, they're working on Silver Age Batman games, so that would be pretty sweet.
I've heard,
and the Spider-Man game, like,
yes, that's what I think is going to blow everyone away. That's going to be like the surprise, holy, expletive game of the show.
Yeah. So we'll see. Myself, so I'm geeking out about this new thing. So last week,
fidget spinners.
Last week we kind of threw the question to the community on the last show because we're at episode 100, and it's a huge number. And, we asked the community, and then almost immediately afterwards, we made a decision what we wanted to do with the show. And it was kind of a question like, do we go geeky? Do we go harder geeky? Like, what exactly do we do with this show? We have decided to end the show. This is it. Episode 100 is the final episode of the Geek Cast, and we are done. We're not going to do this anymore. We are moving forward. We're done. We are going to start a new podcast, which actually right now you can go download on iTunes, on Android. It'll be up on YouTube as well. It is called the Nintendo PlayStation Podcast. And kind of real quick, like, I have a little bit of structure. There is an episode 0 up right now that you can go listen to. It's about a 10, 12-minute chat with Toby and I, and Sean is there as well. And the reason being is because Sean helped us kind of with the concept, and you can hear how that all came together when you go over there. But the idea will be is I will handle the Nintendo stuff per se. Toby will bring the PlayStation stuff. Each week I will bring a Nintendo topic. Each week Toby will bring a PlayStation topic, and then we'll decide who will go first. Doesn't matter. We are keeping Geek Outs. That is the one thing that we did not want to let go of. We because that kind of, people get excited to talk about what they're excited about when they come here. So that's the one thing we're definitely keeping. So it'll start with the Geek Outs. It'll move into our topics. Then I will bring 3 Nintendo news articles. Toby will bring 3 PlayStation articles. And I will decide which PlayStation news article I want to hear about. Toby will decide which Nintendo one he wants to talk about, and then we'll read those and kind of discuss them a little bit, and then we'll end the show with, and this we're not really sure if we're both going to do it or we'll just do one. It's going to be called The Rewind, and each week we will bring a classic game from the PlayStation library or the Nintendo library to discuss it and explain like what we liked about it, what was cool about it, what it did for video gaming or whatever. Like, and we'll just get into it and kind of get people into it. And so it's kind of a different take on what we're doing. I'm super excited for this because I feel like this is more where I want to go. And Toby will tell you, like, this has been months in the making. I came to him like a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, and it's just like, dude, we gotta change this up. We gotta do something different with this. But the problem was always trying to figure out, like, what do we do? What's the right thing? And we talked about just going completely Nintendo and just having a Nintendo podcast. But then when we discussed it, it was just like, yeah, but we don't just like Nintendo. Like, we do like, Sony and all that stuff. And so let's do this. So that's where we are. So go check it out now on iTunes, on Google Play. It will be on YouTube as well. The Nintendo PlayStation Podcast. So,
and we should quickly mention why it's called that as well.
Go ahead.
Where the name came from. So basically, it was when Nintendo and Sony were originally going to team up and make a console together. It was going to be called the Nintendo PlayStation. So that kind of very well fits our, topic structure where we're both bringing Nintendo and PlayStation topics. So, and it's got a cool new logo as well, made by Mr. Sean Capri.
Oh my god, dude! It is phenomenal, dude. It is amazing. He did two. He did a PlayStation version and he did a Nintendo version. It is so cool, man. It is really cool. I could probably show you, Alan, if you wanted to see it real quick.
He is a talent man. I'm not going to say I was a little disappointed when you were going and on the closing bit. We're going to go back to a retro game. I honestly was hoping you're going to say you're going to have a musical duet each episode. Like you've pre-recorded, and I was just all like, yeah, let's... No. That would be worth
the thing is, we're still going to be finding our structure as we go, so the final topic might change, depending on if people like it or not.
Yeah, this is the way we kind of, when we talked about it, this was the format, as I was sitting there trying to come up with a format, I was like, because the one thing Toby kept saying was, we got to do something fresh. It can't be the same thing that we've been doing, just changing the name and such. So that's when I thought about it, and I was like, he's right. Let me start honing in on some things. I took some things that Sean had said to us, some other things. With the Geek Outs, I think we're definitely going to do what Sean's idea was we're going to put a community base too. Like each week, I will post in the Nintendo Guru Facebook group, like, what are you guys geeking out about? And then people can list, and we'll read those off, just in addition to what we're geeking out about, and kind of make that more community-based. And then the Rewind, I think the Rewind is going to be a lot of fun. I really do. I think it'll be just a blast. And we've decided, and I'm not even going to say what we decided we're going to do for episode 1. You guys can listen to episode 0 and go check that out. But the funny thing is, I just want to tell this story real quick. So I'm playing the Division with Sean Capri. Earlier that day, Toby and I had decided, we got to work on a name, and this is what we want to do. We want to do... At first, the idea was we'll do one show, Nintendo, next show would be PlayStation. So when I get in the call with Sean and I'm playing, I'm like, dude, I really don't like this idea. I don't like the idea of going 1 week one, 1 week the other, because what if they both have good topics 1 week? Or what if 1 week is just flatline for the one company and the other company's booming? And that would be the way it is. We would be Nintendo this week and Sony would have all the stuff, and then next week we go to talk Sony and Nintendo would have all the stuff. So we would be 2 weeks behind on everything. So Sean, I was like, I'm thinking about doing half the show one and half the other, and then Sean goes, you should call it the Nintendo PlayStation Podcast. And I was like, dude, I like the name of that. It just hit me also. I was like, dude, that name is right there in front of us. Why? And as we're playing, he stops playing the game. And he's looking up. He goes, dude, that name's not taken. Go get it. Go get it now. And he's like, let me look on Twitter. And he looks it up. And he's like, that name's not on Twitter. Go get it. And I'm like, okay. He's like, no. Stop playing now. And go get this. I'm like, Sean, relax. Just take it easy, man. It's okay. So that's where we're at with all that stuff. So it'll be, and you can follow us on Twitter. It's at NinPlayPod. The name was just too long to put in there, so you couldn't do it. So sadly, Twitter kind of limits you. And I mean, it'd be at Nintendo PlayStation Podcast. Hi. That's all people be able to say after that.
Yeah, it takes all the characters.
Yeah, it takes all the characters. So let us jump into the Nintendo Guru Facebook group real quick, and we're going to kind of go over some stuff that's in there and see what's going on. So the one thing I have a pinned post up right now, and it's a new show called The Hosts. I don't know if you listened to that yet. Have you, Alan? The Hosts?
No, I've got a huge backlog. It's ridiculous.
The Hosts. The Hosts is a new show that I started where each week I bring 2 different hosts from different indie podcasts, and this past week was Sean and Adam Leonard of Megadads, and the first week was actually Chris White and Joseph Moran. They did episode 0 with me, but it's cool. They bring the topics, so they can talk about anything they want except for politics and religion. because I don't want fights and all that stuff, because you know that's the way it'll go. And then we just talk, we discuss. So I start to show off typically, and I ask them, like, what got you into podcasting? What was the thing that pushed you over the edge to go that way? And then, you know, and then they bring the topics and stuff. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of neat. So, but Antonio Guillen, who's my producer on the show, dude, he did some phenomenal stuff. Did you see that first episode 1 yet, Toby?
Yeah, I saw some of it.
Dude, the cut scene, like the way he does the editing and stuff, dude, really good work. I mean,
yeah, I like the layout on the screen.
Yeah, man, the layout on the screen, all that, like the whole intro, and he just phenomenal, dude. And the promo he did was spot on. Like, he did all that stuff. That's all him. Like, he really did good. Only thing he messed up on, Antonio, is at Nintendo Gurus, not Nintendo Guru. So, Gary Gray, he's talking about what we should do with the Geek Cast. And it's funny because we did talk about, at one point, I didn't want to end if we ran Nintendo. And I knew that was the only way we could do it. But we did talk about a podcast, and Toby had said it, like, called The Gaming Gurus. And we were going to bring Sean Capri in, and Sean would be the Xbox guy on the show, and it'd be the three of us. But I said to Sean, I was like, the only way I do this is if we ran Nintendo. He's like, yeah, he goes, I can't afford to do another show. And I'm like, I'm not ending it if we ran Nintendo. So, not yet, anyway. We'll see. Maybe when we hit 100, we'll just all merge together. Who knows?
Yeah.
So Michael Ratliff, I kind of wanted to get into this real quick. He posted, like, all of his, holy crap, this is huge. I don't want to go over it all. Oh my god. His predictions. Oh my god, dude. So is there anything... Oh, Jesus, man. This is massive. But you know what? This is really...
That's what she said.
That has never been said to you ever in your life. Be honest.
No,
and she has never said
that's highly disappointing. So, yeah, it's highly disappointing generally when it comes to
Microsoft, he's saying that Forza Motorsport 7 will be shown off. And then, let's see, he's saying they'll see a little bit of Halo Wars 2 DLC. The folks at 343...
He's gone really in-depth, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's got it crushed, dude. You gotta go see... This is a lot of stuff. I'm not going to read the whole thing.
It's cool because he's like... Sorry, he's like... Yeah. Broken it down like, all right, so the podcast's going to... The conference is going to start with this.
Yeah.
It's going to come out on stage. It's going to say this. They're going to show this footage, and then they're going to transition to this. And he's like, got it all laid out. It's really cool.
It's amazing. And he's saying that he feels that Scorpio will be given an official name, which I agree. We will. More details will be shown off that I won't fully. I agree, Michael. I won't have a clue what they're talking about. When they talked about teraflops last year, I was like, "What the hell is a teraflop?"
Blast processing.
Yeah, exactly. It'll get a September release to launch alongside Forza 7, priced at $399. Man, if that thing comes in at $399, forget it. Yeah, PlayStation Pro is done. You'll see if that comes in at $399, you'll see the Sony conference where Sony announces a price slash on the Pro, because that's the only way that thing's gonna sell.
I think they'll remove the restrictions on the stupid restrictions they've got on the system about power distribution. I really do honestly think Sony are going to do that.
I think
this
Sony,
is really good.
Yeah, man, isn't it? It's really in depth, right?
Do you guys think Scorpio might be region free?
They already they are both of them.
Yeah.
Are they?
Yeah, it
doesn't know that.
Blu-rays.
Yeah. Honestly, there's no reason for them to be region free because they don't really sell in Japan.
I suppose so, yeah.
That's the thing. Yeah. Like, when people look at, like, oh, Microsoft gets crushed by Sony and stuff, I'll be honest with you. I give Microsoft a lot of credit that they're even able to hang in the fact that they're not even in one of the major regions in the world. Japan is a huge hub, and they do not buy American products. They only buy, they stick to Japanese products. And the number is so small, the amount of people that own... Like, the Wii U is outselling Microsoft over in Japan. Like, the Wii U doesn't outsell anything, and the Wii U is beating Microsoft in Japan. Like, that's just crazy to think that, It's nuts. But, He's saying that Spyro Collection will be announced. Didn't you say that, Toby? Was that one of your predictions?
Yeah, I said Spyro. I think I said Spyro would come back.
That's what he's saying. He said because it's similar of the whole Crash
thing.
Super Mario Odyssey will be focused. Is there anything big in the? He said there's going to be some new VR stuff, which that's what they're gonna. God of War announces God of War 4. Midgard is what he's calling it. More gameplay will be shown. He's saying it's given a spring 2018 release. Likely to hit about March or April. Like, dude, he is so in depth with this. I mean, I tip my cap. This is crazy. Skyrim will be shown off for Switch. It'll be announced for October release. I think that's right on. I think I think September, October. I think they want to get ahead of Mario Odyssey as much as possible. They don't want to be there right around when Mario Odyssey hits. He's saying that we're going to get a virtual console sizzle reel because he thinks that we're going to get GameCube when it hits. Splatoon 2 will not be shown off. He's saying it will be shown off. I don't think Splatoon will get shown off just because of the fact that it comes a month later and for the fact that they're doing a tournament that day. I think
they'll announce new characters and maybe some new weapons.
But I think that'll all happen during the tournament. I think that's going to be filler for the tournament. And the same with ARMS. I think they're not going to deal with ARMS. They're not going to deal with Splatoon. I think they're going to do the tournaments, and then you're going to get all this little drop stuff. You might get a little sizzle reel and saying, like, tune into the ARMS tournament for more information or tune into but I don't think they're actually going to focus on anything at the actual event.
I hope that's the way they do it because... didn't we have a Splatoon Direct not too long ago?
Yeah, it was only like a week ago, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. I don't think they need to show off too much more.
This is interesting. He's saying that Retro's game will be shown off. It's not Metroid or Donkey Kong Country. It will be a Western RPG coming in 2018.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
That's interesting. I like that. Xenoblade Chronicles will be shown off in English, announced to be coming worldwide in December. That's man.
I don't know
you know what
that.
though? They do release Xenoblade in December, so
it won't be here.
Yeah,
I can't see it happening.
I think it is.
Yeah,
I don't think Nintendo can afford for any of those games announced in year one to be delayed.
I think Mario could carry them into next year.
Yeah, but what happens to the point of Mario? I don't think it'll be. I don't think we're going to see it in December. I think we're going to. I think we're going to get it in like September. Maybe August. I don't know.
All those Skyrim nerds are going to be buying up Skyrim in August or September, and then November will probably be Mario, I reckon. And then that'll do until January, February. And then
he's saying he's saying Mario Rabbids will get shown off. I think we're just going to get a flash on that. I think that's mainly going to get focused at the Ubisoft conference.
I don't know.
You think they're going to push that on Nintendo?
I feel like because of Mario, Nintendo is going to want a good control over that.
That's possible. That's possible.
Plus, they've got Assassin's Creed and Far Cry 5. That's going to be their big. They're going to want a lot of time on them.
He's saying that a new Assassin's Creed is coming to the Switch. It will not be Origins, but it will be similar. We'll see something similar to Unity or Rogue from 2014.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
The one more thing for them will be Pokemon Stars confirmed. I think that's huge, man. I really do. I think that if they can come out and they can talk about a Pokemon game on the Switch, I think they just crush with gangbusters.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're going to get more DLC information. He thinks that no Metroid gets mentioned yet. I part of me thinks he's right, but the other part of me thinks that they can't be that stupid not to just show even a little teaser, just something to get people hyped to go this is coming. But who knows? Third party stuff. I'll jump into this real quick. He says EA will show off Battlefront 2 gameplay. Mass Effect Andromeda DLC packs. BioWare will announce a new IP, a very Destiny/Division-esque game, also sports games, obviously. Ubisoft will showcase AC Origins and Empire. Are they doing two Assassin's Creed games?
Was Empire the Switch game he was talking about?
I don't know. He didn't.
Empire.
He said Empire on Switch. Yeah. He said Empire on Switch. Both will be coming in November. Ghost Recon DLC will be shown. South Park will be showcased again with a joke from Matt and Trey about how long it's been taking. Yeah, that I'm sure that's pretty spot on there. More Just Dance. Yeah, I'm sure we'll get that. And Bethesda will show off substantial Dishonored 2 expansion. Wolfenstein is going to get shown. He's saying coming maybe May 2018. This is amazing. He's saying The Evil Within 2 will get showcased. Honestly, man, you gotta go check out this post. This is an amazing post.
It's a detailed wet dream for E3.
It's amazing. He did a hell of a job, man. I can't knock him in the least. Real quick, though, let's just wrap up here and go through. How about Nick? Did you see this where he was like all excited because he was going to get Blaster Master for 30% off, and they were like, no, just these titles. Which
it sucks. That happens to me every year.
I know. It sucks because first off, they give you the 30% off, and you have most of the games already, and the games that they're giving you the 30% off are good games that are already out that you already own, and it's like the ones that you don't have, you really didn't want. That's why you didn't buy them. So it's like, just give 30% off on the whole store. Just,
Yeah.
And it was all Wii U stuff, too.
Have you seen the games with gold and PSN games for this month?
No.
They're pretty decent. Life is Strange for PS4.
Okay.
And games with gold, you've got Watch Dogs.
Okay.
Part of it.
Okay.
So I'm like, I wouldn't pay for them, so I'll get them for free.
Yeah, that's not bad. We're gonna hit this one last thing. This is by Todd Oxtra. It's an image that he had put up where it's showing.
I love this.
Yeah, with Reggie with the headset on, and then he's got a Switch in one hand and a telephone in the other, and that'll lead into our first topic. So that's why I want to stop at this one, but. It's just missing a portable battery and a stand. That's all he's saying. And so let's discuss. This week, a couple days ago, Hori comes out and says this is going to be what our headset is. It comes with a dongle, which you plug the dongle to the Switch. Then that would give you the audio for the game. Then the other part goes to the phone, which would, in theory, be the chat app that Nintendo came out with, and then that goes to your head. One of the complaints is this. It's a couple of complaints. One is the cords are way too short, so there's no way you're going to be able to hook it to where it is. I've already determined that, like, I have extensions for, like, when I do recordings and stuff. Like, I have 3 extensions, like, these cords, so that way I can be 10, 20 feet away from the actual camera when I'm doing recordings and stuff, and I can still do all that stuff. So for me, it's no big deal in that terms. But the extensions...
Have they even confirmed the length? People are just guessing, aren't they?
I think they're going by the images. They're looking at the images and they're saying it's really short.
But the images have got little white squiggles between each wire, and it's like, obviously they're not going to have tons of wire on the screen. They want it to look good.
Yeah,
so
you'd think that. I mean, that's true. That you're right with that. That's true. But it turned. Basically, people are pissed because they just feel like it's a drop. It's definitely a drop. There's two mindsets here. One is, well, I don't need the dongle because I really don't need the game audio in my ear when I'm playing. That's the one mindset. The other mindset is that it's the worst thing that Nintendo could have done. This is horrible. And I think the third mindset, which is more my mindset, is this isn't Nintendo. This is Hori. I'm the mindset, like, I just want to wait and see what Nintendo says about all of this. Because we don't know what exactly is going on with this. What I don't understand is this. So we can do Bluetooth headphones for the cell phones, right? So if it's a chat app, right? What I don't get is, if I can do Bluetooth headphones for my cell phone, then why wouldn't that be fine for me? Like, I wouldn't need all these wires. You know, like
you shouldn't need your phone at all.
I get that.
In this modern age.
I get that. But I think that because of the way the console is built, I understand why they didn't do it. Because they took into the aspect of the portable side of it. The battery life is not going to last and people go, well, I'm not going to take it, I'm going to go do chat. Okay, but maybe you just don't want to sit in front of the TV and play. Maybe you still want to play, but maybe you want to play in your bed, or maybe you want to play at the kitchen table, or maybe you want to go play in the living room or a different room of the house, and you're not hooked to the TV, but you still want to play online. That part of it is, I feel like it's going to be a complete drain on the battery, and they went this aspect. I mean, I don't know.
There's an easy fix that Nintendo have completely overlooked.
What's that?
The Pro Controller, 80-hour battery life. There's no port for a headphone slot in it.
Yeah.
That could power their headphones easy and last a long time. 20-hour battery life on the Joy-Cons. Like, it's not a issue, you know?
I don't buy the Bluetooth.
Blows my mind.
Draining the battery that quickly. I also don't belong to the group that say that there'll be interference on it. I honestly, it's one of those decisions that just doesn't actually make any logical sense, except for the fact that it gives you the easy ability to manage your chat group. Yeah. That's the only big plus point. Everything else is a big negative. If I'm sat at my, if my Switch is in the dock, I should just be able to have my Bluetooth headset on my head with the mic playing. I shouldn't have to have it plugged into my phone. Yeah, okay, the argument is, but it's always there. It's like, well, it doesn't matter.
That argument doesn't make any sense to me. Like, it's always there. I don't get that aspect. I mean, ultimately, yes, what you're saying would have been the best way, but I think the way you gotta also remember, to do what you guys want to do is going to be more money, and the thing is not cheap as it is. So
how's it more money?
It's not going to cost more money to put all that the Bluetooth in there for the chat and to even put the chat feature in the system. That's not going to cost more money.
Well, no. Well, one's software based, so no, it's no different than developing an app for a standalone phone. And then the Bluetooth module's already in there. You've already got one that's designed for multi-channel Bluetooth.
But the Bluetooth module, in theory, is for the Joy-Cons.
It's just a module. It can do anything. You can have your phone hooked up to multiple Bluetooth devices.
At the same time?
Hell, it could use Wi-Fi. Yeah.
You can't do that. You only put one item. You can only send this to one item. You can't send this to multiple places at the same time.
I think I'll double check.
I've only been able to pick one option.
Who wants to have spaghetti junction strewn across their living room floor?
I'm not saying that's the answer at all. I don't think that's the answer.
Nintendo better have a better solution.
What I'm saying is that setup that you saw, that is Hori setup.
Yeah, but it's officially licensed. It's Splatoon.
So what if it's officially licensed?
Nintendo have gone, yeah, okay, that's a good idea. Why don't you do that? Why didn't Nintendo say, no, that's rubbish?
Wait till we've got our official one.
Nintendo is not... First off, okay, let's rein it in. Nintendo is not going to... They're not going to tell another company, we don't want you to make this. Don't do it. It's no different than... Wait a minute.
It's their ecosystem.
Wait a minute. Look at some of the controllers that are coming out right now that I think are absolute garbage. And they're coming out. Nintendo go, no, don't make them controllers. They're trash.
The Switch controllers are already out. People know there's a better alternative. People don't know that there's a better alternative for voice chat yet.
And that's what I'm saying. Nintendo, I don't feel, was ready to discuss this. So, Hori came... That's why I'm saying it's not... I understand people are freaking out because they don't know the information. And yes, we should have the information. But I understand why they're not, because they're also still working on all the details of terms of, like, what are we doing with Virtual Console? When is it going to launch? What are we doing with this new Netflix style thing? Toby, if they came out and they said, let's be honest, let's be truthful here. If they came out and they said, here's our voice chat options, what would have been the questions coming out?
All they needed to say is, we're going to have...
No, that's not the question I asked you. That's not the question I asked you. If they came out and said, this is what we're doing for voice chat, what would the questions be? When's it coming? How much is it? What's the other online stuff? What games are coming?
Yeah, but they could say that information will come later.
And that wouldn't have been good enough. And that wouldn't have been good enough. Nothing they say is going to be good enough.
Fault for not saying it in the first place, for being unprepared. The Switch is a rushed console. I blame the Wii U. The reason they brought the Switch out too early is because the Wii U was such a mess.
I don't think the Switch was brought out too early.
It was rushed.
I don't think the Switch was rushed.
It was.
It's clearly missing a lot of features that should be there.
Online's not in place at launch. Voice chat functionality is not in place at launch. They don't have a plan in firm place for their own virtual console.
Online, wait.
Smacks of a company that's rushed something to market.
So wait a minute, you're telling me you can't play games online?
No, what I'm saying is it's not got a firm online infrastructure. It doesn't have a dedicated chat. It's not built into the device. This is all stuff that can be done on a Vita that the Vita could do at launch.
The Vita didn't have voice chat at launch.
Did it not have voice chat?
No, because they actually added Skype to it, so that way you had voice chat, and they added Skype later.
I thought it was like PlayStation games. It was in the game environment that
my understanding was
you just have to access from the game.
I'd have to look it up. I don't know for sure, but my understanding was they came out with Skype to give people the option to chat.
Okay, well, even that as an example, it's on the device.
But it wasn't put on the device day one. It was put on later.
No, okay. But then using it as an example, if you want to use it as a comparison of apples to apples, it's still on the device. It's not the Nintendo model, which is you need a cell phone. Yeah, which at this stage it becomes, well, you've got Discord, you've got Skype, you've got all these other options. Why would I use yours apart from what you're claiming will have a decent management system for your games? Which, again, should be, in my opinion, native to the device.
I'm not
especially
saying
a portable one.
I'm not. Sadly, none of us are tech wizards that can turn around and go, "Here's the reasoning why," and they're not really coming out and saying why it isn't. And I'm sure that once they give their announcement, the questions will come, and then you'll start to hear the answers why. And then I'm pretty sure that people will calm down then, because they're not just doing it to be different. I don't feel like this situation, they're doing it to be different. I feel like there's something technically the reason why that they couldn't do this. And maybe they just wanted to have one spot where you could do everything. And I don't... It's hard to come up with answers that I don't really know all the questions, or I don't know the reasonings behind. So it's hard to defend on that end of it. And I'm not trying to defend on that end. What I feel is, I think it's, until Nintendo gives the answers, this is all overreactions. Because this is time and time again. People freak out. How long... It was the same thing about the Switch when the Switch was coming. And they're like, we're not talking about it at E3. And everybody freaked out. It's the worst thing in the world. And then, we're going to talk about it in September. Everybody freaked out. And then they throw the 3-minute trailer up, and everybody freaked out because it didn't give all the details, and they didn't have anything. Like, I don't think that it's as big an issue as people are making it out to be, honestly.
I think it is for Nintendo because they're still seen as the company that don't get online. And they have been since the GameCube.
Yeah.
And that's something that they should be really striving to correct course on. They need to be seen as the proactive company that are trying their best to fit in. And all it's like weird decision after weird decision.
Do you guys really think that this little tablet should be on par with a PS4 and an Xbox One?
In terms of basic feature parity,
it's not a matter of basic feature parity. You have to but you got to pull power from something to do the voice chat. It don't matter. So if the games are lesser quality, just so they can give us voice chat while we're playing a game, that's okay to you?
But case in point, it doesn't have to use Bluetooth. It's got a microphone port on it. You could plug in a headset like this.
I don't think so.
Yeah, but when you're holding it in hand, Alan, it's got the microphone port when it's far away.
Yeah, so what you could have is a Bluetooth dongle that plugs into the dock when you're using it if you want wireless. If you want to play it on the go, you could plug in one of these kind of headsets. The point is, it needs basic... I'm not saying it has to have performance parity in terms of visuals. We know it's not going to happen. Yeah. But it does need to have feature parity. So when you've got, like I said, we'll use the Vita as a great example. When the Vita can do these things natively on the device, it's not acceptable in my mind that a device in 2017 is somehow given a pass because it can't do them. And we're trying to, and it seems to be it's because it's Nintendo.
I'm not saying it's.
We need to be hard on this company.
I don't know. I think that they're not. I just don't think it's. I think that you don't. I think that we don't know technically the insides of this thing, and for you to say that it should be parallel to two basically computers, because that's what they are. What do you mean?
I'm not talking about spec performance. Again, we're talking about feature parity.
But what I'm saying is but it takes power in order to run all this stuff at the same time. I'm not disputing that. I'm disputing the fact that we're using that as an excuse for why it's not built in. Because the Vita had it, and the Vita suffered the shittest. The Vita didn't have it in device. But the Vita didn't have it in launch.
There's no point arguing about it, right? I'm open to the idea of a mobile app that could be better than a built-in app, that uses my phone's battery and all that. Maybe it's got a ton more features and it's easy to use because it's all touchscreen. It's right next to you. Brilliant. As long as I don't have 100 wires, like 3 different wires,
but that's
going
what
here,
I'm
there, and
saying
everywhere.
To you.
Like
that's Hori's design.
I know.
That's not Nintendo's.
That's why I'm worried. I'm worried, Bobby.
But my thing is this: my phone. So you're okay with having to chat through this?
Yes.
Okay. You
as
can
long as
have
I can hear game audio,
and you don't know that you can't. I mean,
right now
it looks that way. It looks that way. Yes.
I'm just saying, based on what we do know, it's looking bad, and I hope that Nintendo comes up with a better solution. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I guess we'll ultimately see, but
yeah.
I mean, I think the only one that does it right is Xbox, and I'll be honest with you. You can't say PlayStation does it right.
Well, I like the way Sony does it.
Do you? How about you have a conversation with Sean Capri and I when he's trying to play the game with me last weekend, and we have to go to party chat, but he can't hear in-game. And then we switch to in-game chat.
Well, I've never had that issue.
Well, we had that issue last week, and it was bad. It was bad. So,
but you know what? It's baked into the device.
So it's baked in garbage. It don't work.
The sound quality is so much better than any in-game audio chat that I've ever been on.
Have you done chat in-game? Has your internet allowed you to do in-game chat with with anything, Alan?
Your mama. Yeah.
Just asking.
Back to that one.
No, because I'm curious if you've messed with Xbox at all.
You know what? It's actually a moot point. I don't really play online. I even got Call of Duty recently just to palate cleanse before I go from Zelda to Horizon, and I haven't really gotten into it. It's been that long, there's no point in playing online.
Yeah.
And by the time the new one comes out, I should have fiber by then. So.
And then what was the other thing that popped up this week? Which I understand that Nintendo should have something. And there's nothing to say that a third-party controller won't come out that does have a headphone jack built into it. I know that was Sean's biggest issue when he saw the Pro Controller. Yeah. He was pissed because he was like, this makes no sense.
It's a really...
That would have been... Decision. I think that would have been... But if you looked at the Microsoft setup, Microsoft has, you plug the headset into the controller, and then they have, a Wi-Fi port that shoots the thing out to the controller and all this different stuff.
No, you see, is that not the Turtle Beach headset, though? That's a separate device for that specific headset.
Wait a minute, but we're talking about Hori. That's a third-party company, and we're talking about Turtle Beach.
But we're saying that
third-party.
But we're saying the Microsoft solution's elegant. And
how's
the
that?
concern is that the Microsoft one doesn't need the little box. You just plug your controller in, and
the Microsoft one doesn't.
If you want a wireless headset, you need the dongle device.
Yeah.
But then that's again a third party. But what we're saying is Nintendo.
But Nintendo hasn't said what they're doing.
Yeah, but do you really trust it's going to be better?
I'm not saying it's going to be better. What I'm saying is temper your anger until you hear what Nintendo says. That's all I'm saying. Everybody's freaking out, acting like it's the end of the world, and Nintendo hasn't said what they're doing with it yet. You don't know what they're working on.
Because they don't know.
And you know what? And that might be the case. Because you know what? They might be focused on other things, like the virtual console and the online service and this whole new plan they're doing. They're trying to get everything together in terms before they push it all out. I'm not saying that what Nintendo is going to do is going to be better. I'm not saying if Nintendo comes out with a similar product, I won't be pissed. I'm just saying I want to wait to hear what Nintendo tells me before I jump off the cliff and freak out. Because it could be something that's a great solution, and then everybody's like, oh, well, I'll just go that way. Screw Hori.
Yeah, it could be. And I hope so.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, but everybody, Toby, in particular, I'm not going to say everybody, you, Toby, in particular, are freaking out about this stupid little drawing that is not a Nintendo thing. It's a Hori product.
It's an official licensed product. Like,
everything on Nintendo is officially licensed.
Yeah, but you can't say it's okay that we don't know anything. It's okay that we're confused.
I'm not saying that's okay.
But you are. You're saying, yeah, I'm okay. I'm all right sitting here waiting, not knowing.
Because it's not important to me. There's no games to really chat in right now that I'm worried about. Everything that I've played...
When's the Splatoon launch?
Splatoon and ARMS.
They're not out right now.
Yeah, but they're coming out very soon.
So they're not out right now.
Mario Kart.
So why? Okay, so why do I feel like Nintendo needs to tell me now about something that's not coming out for 2 months?
Oh.
Seriously.
So that it shows that they have a plan and that they're not making it up as they go along. And with the Switch...
So wait a minute. Okay, I'm sorry. Isn't E3 in 2 weeks?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But if they don't announce it at E3, it's
if the information comes out prior to E3, everybody gets pissed off that it's coming out before E3. If it comes out at E3, they're pissed off that they don't know about it till E3. It doesn't make sense.
Well, no one's going to be pissed if Nintendo come out and say, this is how we're doing it. They're going to be pissed if they come out and say, it's as bad, if not worse, than the Hori one. Or, it would surprise me more if it's a more elegant solution than the Hori one, and it's not a complete nightmare. I honestly think that their answer is a headset that you plug into your phone. That's it. And I don't even think they care about that. I think their answer is going to be, hey, Apple gives you these little earbuds, plug them in, go, and that's the way it's going to be. But I should be able to do that on my Switch.
I'm just saying.
I should just be able to do it. I'm just saying. I should be able to just, on I go.
But you're extra device. So you should be able to do it. You're not able to do it. It is what it is.
I know, I get that. But
here's the thing. We knew that.
I will find that as a backward step.
I
would say it's a back.
We knew all that when we bought our Switches. So I'm not worried about it. At this point, I've already made my bed, so it is what it is. What the Switch can do and what it can't do, I know at this point. I'm not going to get pissed off that it can't do it. I know right now my chat options are my phone. If I don't like what Nintendo does, then I stick to what I'm already doing, which is Skype and Discord.
Yeah, but isn't that a really lame solution?
Not really, because you know what? Me and Sean have been playing ARMS, and we've been actually using video chat. And it's actually been better than the thing. Because we just sit there and we put our phones up and we can look at each other and talk and play at the same time. I actually like that better than the chat options. Than just voice chat. That's just me personally. I like Skype better than I like Discord or I like any other type of just voice chat. Because it's kind of cool because it's almost like he's in the room with me. Because I look over and I can see him playing the game and yelling at me or whatever it might be. Like, I like that better. Like, then when we just play The Division with the headsets on, I feel a little bit of a disconnection compared to when we were playing ARMS and we're playing and we're looking at each other and talking to each other. That's just what I would... So, for me personally, I would love it if Nintendo was to go to Microsoft and go, can you put a Skype on our thing? That would be perfect for me. I would love that. It has the headset. See, and here's the other thing that I'm not sure about. Maybe this stuff is built in and it just hasn't been unlocked yet? Does that make sense? Like, in terms of, like, everybody's saying, like, you can't use your headset, right? I can't use my Sony Golds on there right now. When I plug it in, it doesn't work. But is that something that can be patched in?
If the mic's got the ability, which it should do.
How about this?
Yes, but that then means the software's got to be on the device.
Yeah.
Which means the phone app becomes completely redundant.
Yeah.
What about streaming to Twitch when that feature comes available on the Switch?
Yeah.
And you're streaming and you want people to hear your voice, but there's also the game audio issue. Like,
I think that they don't care about that. I think they look at it as most people that are streaming to Twitch won't stream the way you stream with PlayStation 4. They're going to actually hook it up to the computer and do it that way. I think that's where they're focused. They're not focused on... I don't think when they do the streaming to Twitch, I think it's going to be a real simple, click the button, it goes if you want it to go, but the voice stuff isn't going to be... It sucks, and I think it's a BS thing, but I can stream to Twitch right now. You can stream to Twitch right now. All you have to do is hook your Elgato up, and you can stream to Twitch. I think that's who they're going to cater to. They're not going to worry about this other stuff. I agree. You should have a way to talk when you're playing the game. That makes sense.
I don't know. It's just a lot of unknowns right now.
I think that's ultimately
makes
where
me
it
nervous.
We only got how many days is it till Nintendo's press conference? Well, direct.
We're less than a week. We're less than 2 weeks now. It's the 13th is the announcement. So
we should revisit this after.
Oh, definitely.
Because I think
definitely
there will be anger.
I think people are definitely going to be upset. I don't think that Nintendo's solution is going to be that good. I look at it, man. There's too much shit to get mad about in this world anymore. That this is not a priority for me. Seriously, it's like this is not something that I want to get mad about and get raged about anymore. It's like, and maybe that's just because I'm just a dumb old guy that doesn't really give a damn about if I can voice chat or not. Like 2 weeks ago or a week ago, it was we can't talk to random people. Let's rage about it. I didn't care about talking to random people. Like, I shut it off anytime I play. I could care less. Should the option be there? Yeah, I'll give you the credit. Option should be there if I want to talk to so-and-so, whatever. But I think they look at the numbers and they go, but the thing that people weren't looking at is, again, we're chatting with this. We're not chatting natively through the system. That's why PlayStation can do it, because PlayStation's set up where the chat is already built in. It's go. But your party chat, I can't talk to random people in party chat. I can only talk to friends. So it's...
Yeah, but that's what's so good about the party chat, is that it's so easy to just set up, have your friends on there. The sound quality is great. You can still hear the game audio.
And I think this is going to be your party chat. This is your party chat. It's not a great option. I admit it. It's not a great option. It's just not something I want to get pissed off about. I don't know. I just worry that the Switch is a very good console. It's very fast. It runs games really well. But it's very it's missing a lot of features that I want.
Feature light.
Yeah, it's feature light. So, and I'm worried that it's going to stay that way.
I think that you want the features because you want Mike Drummy to buy a Switch. And that's
I do. And that's not just Mike. I want a lot of people to be in on the Switch.
And I know, and I get that. And my thing is that like right now, the Switch does exactly what I want it to do. And that's where my mindset is I know how good this thing is because it does exactly what they told me it was going to do. Everything that I was promised in that original trailer comes to life. You know, I play it at home, I play it on the go, and I'm happy with it.
Bobby?
What's that?
Did Wii U do everything you wanted it to do at the time?
No,
you wanted the Wii U to play great games, and it did.
No, I wanted to. No, there were some things there were some differences I wanted with the Wii U. I didn't want to have to use the gamepad every time I played. I liked the gamepad. I liked it when I played it in certain games, but I wanted them to not do that. I didn't want them to be locked in behind it.
This needs to be it's what I said when it first came out, is they're going up against the tablets, and it lacks some features that tablets have. Things like Netflix and all that. Again, Nintendo need to be chasing these. They need to announce that they're coming, because again,
they already did
when
say
you get
the
masses,
they did say they were coming.
The Joe public going for it. They've said that they're looking into it.
No, they said that they were coming, but Nintendo themselves were focused on other things right now. Those apps are getting developed by YouTube and by Netflix and stuff.
I would hope so, yeah.
Yeah, that's not a Nintendo thing. That's you bring the apps to me when you're ready to put them on, and we put them on. But that wasn't on PlayStation Day One. That wasn't on Xbox Day One. They're coming.
I agree, but they are now. And Nintendo's coming at their first Christmas, and the more that they can say their thing does, the better it looks as an appealing purchase at Christmas for gifts and for mums and dads to go, we'll get that for little Timmy and his gammy arm.
At this point, it's changing the narrative. Don't know. Because in the beginning, it was they better have good games. The Wii U didn't have good games. Wii U didn't have a lot of games. That's where their focus is. Their focus is trying to put the games on the system that people want, get the games out because they know that's what pushes the consoles. As long as you have the good games, people will buy the console and it'll push forward. This other stuff is just white noise in the background to them right now. That stuff that they're looking at it and going like, we need to build... Their focus is, I'm sorry, and everybody might get pissed off that I say this, their focus is not voice chat. Their focus is third-party developers and getting games on the console. Because guess what? 3 weeks ago, that's all anybody cared about. That's all anybody complained about. Is this game, why isn't Red Dead coming? Why isn't this coming? Why isn't this coming? They're trying to get those developers to build games for the Switch. That's where Nintendo's focus is. And I'm sorry that people will get pissed that I said that, but that's just what it is. They don't care that you're upset about voice chat. That's not their focus. And that's why they're worried about getting games on this console. That's their main focus right now, is because that was the complaint for the Wii U. It had no third-party developers. They're trying to answer the questions of the failure of the Wii U and get it going. The console's easier to develop for. Wii U was hot trash to develop for. You know, Wii U had no third parties. They're trying to get third parties in. They got a lot more indie developers working on this than they had on the Wii U. I think Nintendo's focus is not where everybody wants it to be, but that changed a week ago. Nobody was even talking voice chat before a week ago. Nobody cared. This stupid Hori thing comes out, and now that's all anybody cares about. And it's like, wait a minute, 2 weeks ago you wanted games. Now all of a sudden you want voice chat.
Yeah, but they're not mutually exclusive complaints. Yeah, we want games.
I'm not saying they are. I'm saying that, but a company like that, they need to. They're not a tech company, but their main thing is they're looking at something totally different right now. Their eyes are not on every single thing. When you go back, like I was saying before, you go back and you listen to this interview with Phil Spencer. It took them 2 years to get that game thing, the Game Pass going, because they have to work negotiations. They have to work with this company and this company, this company. So if that was something that if that was a feature that people wanted day one, and it didn't come, and they had to wait 2 years for it, they would be pissed. But at the same time, Xbox is looking at all these different things. And that's what he says. He goes, we try to do things at times, but you're too busy focused on all these other things, and it takes time to get stuff built into it. And I know Game Pass is totally different than voice chat. That's not what I'm saying at all.
But I think it comes also to the fact that Nintendo announced it. They said it'll be coming. We'll have more details soon. And the first detail that the public get is a disaster. And that's why it's suddenly back in the forefront. If Microsoft had announced that, we're going to try and do this new Netflix for games, but we'll have more information soon. And the first thing they announce is it's going to cost you $500 a month, or a year, sorry, because we've got to pay all the licensing fees, but you're only going to get a select few titles. That would be the thing. It's a bad idea. You've made us wait, and the first thing you're telling us is not good. Yeah. It's the same, and that's where we come back. Nintendo, of all companies that do a system, sorry, I'm realizing I'm moving.
That's fine.
Keep Bobby happy. Be in the middle.
You're fine.
If you're going to announce it, make sure that the first, be it official or unofficial reveal, doesn't make it look bad. But Nintendo should be above all other companies, and I come back to it, trying to show that they understand what they're doing online. But every console, they just drop the ball in new and interesting ways.
I don't think that, I would love to, and I think I said this, I don't know if I said this to Utopia or I said it to someone else. I might have said I said to Mark Carabin. I said, I would love to have been a fly on the wall at Nintendo. Like, you get up, or just to be Bill Trennan or Reggie, and be like, today's going to be an easy day, I'm just going to go in the office, it's a light day, hang out, and then all of a sudden, your phone's blowing up because people are freaking out about what Hori announced. And it's got to be like, they got to be sitting there going like, oh my god, why did they do this now? You know what I mean? Like, because, and I know that they're not going to tell somebody like you can't announce your, although they do tell some people you can't, but I think that's all dependent upon the ties they have to them.
But again,
the headset, I gotta say this though, the headset is really cool looking. I think the headset's pretty badass. The dongle, although it's nonsense, I kind of like that it's shaped like a squid in Splatoon. I think that's kind of cool looking.
Yeah, that is cool.
But otherwise, it's all. I think it's a bad setup. I think it's a horrible setup.
I
honestly.
think that I would play Mario Kart Online way more than I do if it had voice chat feature on the console. If it was just easy.
I think that you would play a lot more Mario Kart Online if you lived in a better time zone.
I would, exactly. But the thing is, like, I just think, I just feel lonely playing online because I can't talk to anyone. Mm-hmm. None of my friends. It's not easy to jump into a game with my friends and just talk to them. Like,
you can't smack talk them.
Question for
you. Exactly.
But again, I'm just curious. What friends do you have that play?
Well, there's Gary Gray, for instance.
And
if I could jump on with Gary, like Alan and Gary, like get a voice chat going. No, I can't do that. I have to like fiddle with my phone, and then can't hear game audio. I'm gonna have to take one off my ear, like play like this. Like, no, it's too much of a hassle. I don't care. I want it to be easy. I'm spoiled by Sony.
It's never going to be easy.
Not with Nintendo.
Not with Nintendo. You're right.
It's not. It's not.
It's chronic.
It is what it is. You know what I mean? Like at this point, I think.
You see, I imagine.
I honestly think that they f***ed off. They f***ed this up, and.
Whoa, he's dropping F-bombs.
No, because you know what? It is true. It's a situation where, because as I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, and I'm like, how hard is it? I think Nintendo of America has an issue because they have to wait for Japan to give them the clearance.
Yeah.
And I think Japan is a bunch of crotchety old men that are scared of their own shadows and afraid to announce things beforehand. They're way too damn conservative. And it's enough's enough. You know what I mean? Like, they should have been ahead of this. And the fact that they let the other company go the other way is ridiculous. They shouldn't have done that. They should have been ahead of this. They should have told Hori, sit tight, we're making our announcement first at E3, and then you can come out with this nonsense, stupid-ass headset. And then we'll talk. But this what they did was absolutely uncalled for. Should it have been built into the system? I agree, Alan. Yes, it should have been built into the system. It's not. So at this point, they got to come up with a different solution. I don't know why they didn't do it, and we'll find out why they didn't do it in the future. I'll probably agree with why they didn't do it because I'm not really tech savvy and I don't understand the ins and the outs of the system and why it works or why it doesn't. But at the end of the day, this thing that Hori put out is hot trash. Should not have ever seen the light of day until Nintendo announced what they were doing first. Nintendo needs to get off their ass, stop playing games, and start getting ahead of this stuff. This waiting all the time is just ridiculous. Because the only thing it does is, at this point, now, it's just, you're going into E3, it's your E3 to lose, and now you're playing firemen, let's put out fires. And that's stupid. That's so stupid.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on, wake up. For 5 seconds, just wake up.
And a week away.
Yeah.
A week away.
Yeah. Like, now this is what you want to do? Seriously? Like, come on. You don't see Microsoft doing stupid nonsense like this. And listen, Microsoft makes all kinds of flops. But here's Microsoft walking in with a major console they're about to announce, and you don't see them, like, dropping the ball or something stupid like this.
Oh, I expect Microsoft to walk in swinging their dick for everyone with the Scorpio. It is going to be someone else.
I do too. I think they're gonna crush on all levels. But I just, it's frustrating at times because I want these guys to do good, and I'm proud. Ain't no doubt about it. I'm the easiest one of the biggest Nintendo fans that you guys know and that I know. And it's like enough. Like, wake up. Enough of this nonsense, man. Like,
yeah,
I can't stand Reggie Fils-Aimé. I'll be honest with you. I wish they would get him down as the poster child and put someone else there because I feel like he's just a PR machine. That's all he is. Put someone in there that can actually say something.
That's Nintendo of Japan.
I know that's Nintendo. I know that's Nintendo of Japan. They got him handcuffed, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah. I imagine he reads memos from them, and he's just head desking at some of the decisions they've made with this. Like, right, so we're going to use our mobile phones. I'm going to go find my punch thing, and I'm going to hit it. Bill,
and Kimishima is not an Iwata by any stretch of the imagination. No. So that's the thing, man. it's sad that Iwata passed away, but at least Iwata would come out and talk to us and say stuff to us. This is back to, sadly, what happened was Iwata passed away, and now we're back to 1980, and that's they act like the internet doesn't exist anymore, and that's the mentality.
Proven.
You know, that's the mentality.
See, it's like you mentioned Phil Spencer being on
Podcast Unlocked.
Yeah, and you had Shuhei on
Yeah.
Beyond and all that, and it's always been Nintendo that are never really engaged. As I've always said, Nintendo seem to keep their fans at arm's length.
Yeah.
It's like we'll send out the surveys and we'll kind of scope Twitter, but we'll never really engage. You know, having like a Bill Trinan go completely uncuffed regularly to NVC would be amazing.
I agree.
Okay, oh yeah, those things I can't
agree.
discuss, but you know, speaking from the company line all the time, it's like that's what's refreshing about Phil Spencer. Okay, you know he's selling you an idea and he's playing the PR machine, but the stories around it kind of comes. It pulls off this more. We're just having a chat, you know.
Well, the thing is, too, is you listen to that podcast, and he says point blank, we need a world with Nintendo putting stuff out. Like, Nintendo putting stuff out is great for us. That podcast aired March 1st. 2 days later, Switch hits. And he's saying, I've played the Switch, I've tried it, I love it. I think it's a great thing. I think it's great what Nintendo's doing. Like, that's what you need. You need someone that's just honest and, like, is candid with stuff. Like, and I know, like, Toby in particular, he gets pissed when Phil Spencer praises, like, Nintendo or Sony, because he feels like it's nonsense, it's disingenuous. But I don't feel like it is. He's a gamer at heart, and I think he realizes...
I'm sure that he is, like, it's good for the industry for all companies to do well, and for everyone to be competing, to have new creative ideas. And I think that, him putting out those tweets, there is a little bit that's like, I'm the cool guy. I like everyone. Come play with my Xbox. Like, but I'm sure it has got the genuine.
Well, it's working.
He does. I'm sure he means it as well.
It's working because come this fall, I'm either gonna have a Scorpio or an S. So
he's definitely won you over.
He's won me over, man. I love that dude. That dude is awesome.
I love the way you're like, or you're just gonna get the Scorpio. You know you're gonna get the Scorpio.
We'll see. I was gonna get a new webcam, and Toby started yelling at me yesterday. So.
Yeah, because Bobby's webcam's perfectly fine. Look at him. You can see his beautiful face very clearly.
Is that the one built into your?
Yeah, this is the one built into my Mac.
Yeah, I need to get a new laptop. Mine still.
You've had to get a new laptop for months now.
Yeah, but it's now officially dead. So now I'm like, I could get this one, and it's like, but the webcam's crap and the screen is crap. This is why Apple are great, but they charge too much now for the MacBook Pros. Yeah, unless you want to do a GoFundMe to get Alan a new computer. Do you?
So, like Alan said, as his computer is dead, so is his podcast. Toby, is there anything you want to say before we wrap it up? It's the last
I
Geek
just want
Cast.
to say I'm sorry if we got a little bit heated on this podcast.
Don't apologize. People love it, man. They love it.
I was raising my voice, and I know that people get annoyed if I get too angry.
You're fine.
I don't want to come across as a negative Nancy.
That was great.
Cause we just want Nintendo to do well, you know?
Yeah, but you know what?
Yeah.
You're yelling and all that. It honestly started to sink into me at the end. And that's what turned me around. Because I started thinking about it. I'm like, why am I sitting here like an asshole defending these guys? It's not my job to defend them. It's my job to buy their product, and it's their job to do it right. So ultimately, that was, it became, as you guys are jumping on me, I'm listening to it, and I start to hear what I'm saying, and I'm just like, this is stupid. Why am I knew going in what the narrative was going to be. I knew you guys would be pissed, and I would be the one going like, calm down. I still do feel like, hey, guys, let's wait a minute. Let's hear what Nintendo officially says. But at the same time, right now, Nintendo should have already been talking. Like I said at the beginning of the show, this whole online infrastructure, this news came out to get people off the chat stuff.
Yeah.
That's all it was. It was a PR play. Like, let's give them this. Because they didn't even give us all the information. They gave us a little bit of information. They gave us pricing, and that was it. And that was like, oh, okay, $20 a year? That's awesome, because I got to pay $60 for PlayStation. And it's like, everybody calms down. I don't think that's the way you play it. The way you play it is going, guys, okay, look, it's not the best option. We know we suck. This is what we're doing. You know what I mean? At least then... That's what I want Reggie. That's what I want Reggie to come out and say. I want Reggie to come out and go, look. If I ran Nintendo, this is what I would give you guys But I don't run Nintendo. These old guys in Japan run it, and this is what they're giving me. So what do you want me to tell you? At least I'd be like, okay, Reggie, I like you more, you know? For me, well, you know, Alan, do you have anything you want to say before we wrap it up?
Well, it's your last show.
Mm-hmm.
You're going on to new things.
Yes.
I have no problem coming on and getting Bobby riled up, Toby. I love it.
That's good.
I love
need you backing me up.
Yeah, I love getting his blood pressure up a little bit.
You definitely did today.
Coloring those cheeks.
I know, you did today.
I'm not talking about the ones on his face. But no, I look forward to your new show. I look forward to hearing your E3 opinions. I'm looking forward to speaking to Gary about our opinions, but apparently we're going to be hammered when we do it, which is
good Lord.
Even better.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that?
I can't imagine it.
Unleashing the beast.
You too. Ugh.
But no, thank you for having me on.
Thank you.
It was
Thank you.
Truly honor.
We were supposed to have Holly on as well, but Holly had to work today.
Yeah.
So
because it's a special occasion, I actually wore underwear. So hey, look at
that's awesome. That's awesome. I appreciate that. Thank you. Better than free balling. That would have been amazing.
It's very constricting though. It's a thong, so it's kind of cutting them in half.
But for me, I just want to say this before we wrap up the Geek Cast. This has not been easy for me to do this decision to do because this is kind of like my child to some degree. This is the first podcast I did I've ever done. This is all I've done for 2 years. I have other shows, obviously, but this always had like a soft spot in my heart, and to see this kind of go away kind of stinks. But I realize it's evolved, and especially when I got confirmation this past week when we put the post up, when we put the call out in the podcast last week, and then you see the responses. People were right with us in those terms of like, hey, you guys are not where you were originally. In terms of like we were kind of more geek based originally, but I was also the geek guru then, and I felt since when I switched to the Nintendo guru, I felt like this podcast started to waver a little bit in the direction, and honestly that's 110% my fault because I'm the one that sets the topics. I'm the one that does pretty much most of the stuff here. Occasionally Toby will come to me when something's really firing him up and be like, I want to talk about this on the show. But that's also why with the Nintendo PlayStation podcast, Toby's going to be more involved with the topics and stuff. This way, it's kind of a crossbreed, and I don't get added. I did that not because I felt like it wasn't one of those things like, well, Toby, you need to contribute more. You're not doing anything. That wasn't the case. The case was I need to be reined in, where I'm not just forcing my narrative of the week on everybody. I wanted to have more say from the outside coming in. And that's why I went that direction with it. But that said, I want to thank everybody that's come along in this journey, that's followed us in all this time. I want to thank Allan you came on the show very early, and you were great aspect of the show for many years, well, for a year or so. And then your work schedule just got too wonky, and and I had to tell you to get the hell out of here, but
in those exact words.
Yeah, but you always come in, you always add something to the show. So absolutely, I want to have you
Stress.
on. Definitely want to have you. That's true. I definitely want to have you on the Nintendo PlayStation podcast. You're welcome anytime, dude. We love you, and that's never changed. That's always been the way it is. But thank you, everybody that listens. I'm going on, and I need to wrap this up. I know that. I just don't want it to end, because I know the minute I hit stop, that's it for the Geek Cast. So I'm kind of droning on a little bit. Please go subscribe to the Nintendo PlayStation Podcast now. It is available again. iTunes. It's at DaceSpace right now. DaceSpace.com / the Nintendo PlayStation Podcast. I think it's just the Nintendo PlayStation Podcast. I have to look it up.
Could be a /. Who knows?
Probably a /.
Nobody knows.
It's probably a /. If it's not the one, flip it and you'll be fine. No, it's that. Yeah, it's a /. It's a /. That is all for the last time on the Geek Cast. See me later.
Ciao.
Where am I?
Never fails. Never fails.
How do I say goodbye to what we had? The good times
Geek Out.